Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Lynn and I'm Pretty Papercrafts 67. And today I'm just doing a quick update of stock for the Etsy store. I've been busy completing some projects, so I'm very happy about that. I'll just start off first with the new printable that's available over in the Etsy store and the coffee store. So this one's called Antique Butterfly. Again, they're just there are 5 A4 size sheets, printable digital kit, printable kit, and yeah, it's very butterfly orientated. So they're lovely pages to put into junk journals or to use as background images for ephemera pieces, whatever you like to do with them. So I've just overlaid them onto some music paper and some vintage receipts, that type of thing. That was upside down. So yeah, I thought they were very pretty. The colours are beautiful. I don't know if the colours are showing up real well on camera, but they're very vintage, lots of browns and beautiful blue and some purple, and yeah, very antique-y looking. So there you go. So that's the new printable that is available over on Etsy and Coffee, if you'd like to go over and check that out. Okay, and then we'll bring in this little set that I've just completed here. This is Tim Holtz and Friends. These are all listed in the Etsy store. So I've just gone ahead and I've been influenced in this bundle by Kerry over at Witchcraft Do You Do, and I've made the beautiful little paper frames that Kerry did a video on some time ago. But I've used all Tim Holtz papers in these. So really what you get in this bundle is you get one. So there's 2 pockets, and each pocket contains a vintage photograph from the Tim Holtz collections. So you can use that as an insert in your journal. You can stick it down onto your page in your journal as a pocket. And then I've just kept them as a little slide out. And then I've just included 3 of these little black bulldog clips that I've spray painted. So you get those 2. This one here is a solid one. It's like a journal tag, or you could still use it as a pocket in your journal. Just stick it down, but the photograph in there is sewn in. I've also used acetate in these 3. Yeah, we got some acetate in one of Sue's mystery boxes this month in April, so I've used that in those. Then I've got this beautiful big layered journal card tag. And the printout here, the figure here, the paper doll, is from another one of Kerry's kits at Witchcraft Do You Do, vintage bits and pieces. So I've just fussy capped those out. And they just look really nice together with the Tim Holtz. They really complement each other. And on this one, I've just done a dangle with a metal butterfly and lots of layers of lace and paper. And on this one here, I've got some of the brass book corners and a bit of seam binding for a tie. And then this one here's a journal topper ready to go, or it could be a pocket in your or just a nice feature page within your journal, or you could use it as a top loading or a side loading pocket. But this one here, it's just a combination of this, some corrugated cardboard, some thick patterned cardstock, and then again, I've just layered up lots of cheesecloth and lace and torn paper and napkin, rust-dyed napkin and all sorts. And again, the image is from the Vintage Bits and Pieces kit. All the kits that I've used, I will link below. So that's those, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And then in this bundle, I've also included some of the vintage envelopes from Kerry's printable, which are, they're just beautiful. And then you get this little gift box here, all done with Tim Holtz, a Tim Holtz photograph in there, and I've just put a little sentiment and a paper clip. And then this one opens up this way, and then I've just filled it full of all little mini bits and pieces. So the tile photographs from Tim Holtz. It's like a little dangle there. Hope I'm in frame. Another dangle that I've made up with a Tim Holtz tile, a label, and another little metal butterfly. And then I've just used the Tim Holtz journal cards just to make some little pockets and sewn all around them with machine stitching. Again, from another image from the Vintage Bits and Pieces. And in these pockets, I've just included 2 of these little Tim Holtz journal cards. I think they're really lovely. They're double-sided, very, very grungy, that, you know, the typical Tim Holtz style. And they just slip nicely in that little pocket, like that. So I've made 2 of those to go into this little box. So they're nice to put on this on the side of a page, in the corner side of a journal page, and then you can use them as a tuck spot, and then you've got like a double pocket. So 2 of those. Another one of those lovely little envelopes from the Vintage Bits and Pieces kit. And then I've just made up a couple of smaller envelopes. So I've got 2 that size and that one, and in those again I've just placed some little Tim Holtz cards. So I've got that one in there, and then these have just got the little tile photographs in that one, and that one again has got another little tile card in there. And then I have decorated up 4 specimen cards just with Tim Holtz papers, and again I have cut out from the Vintage Bits and Pieces kit these little paper dolls, and they're just lovely. Just done a bit of layering there with a leaf sticker and yeah, done lots of hand stamping. Everything's machine stitched, distress inked, and yeah, so that's what you receive in this little bundle. So we've got all the minis put inside of a little gift box, and they fit really nicely inside there. Push you down a little further. And then your little dangles. All right, and I've left all the strings nice and long, so it's quite shabby kind of feeling. All right, so that's the Tim Holtz bundle. Then I've made some gift boxes. I did a video on gift boxes last week, maybe it was. So this one here is a haberdashery sample box, and I've just made one of these gift boxes with it, and I've just done a layering up of different pieces of paper. I've got some brown baking paper, laces and crochet doily. This here is Minte, so I've just done a bit of a collage with some Minte paper, and then when you open it up, it's just full again of little bits and pieces. I've included these because I just think they're so pretty, these little flower buds, I suppose they are. They're artificial, but they're really sweet. And then I've got this old vintage doily. This was one of my grandmother's. So I've included that in there. And then inside, I'm just checking that I'm in frame. Inside here, I've just put a whole collection of bits and pieces that are great to use in journals, or you can use them in your sewing projects or slow stitch, or yeah. So what I've included is 2 of the button strings. So I've just threaded some vintage buttons onto some strings and just kept them in place with one of these little tabs. So I've got 2 of those in there. I've made 2 little butterfly wax seals and turned them into like a little sample card. And these sample cards are again a printable from Witchcraft Do You Do. I always get this wrong. I think it's Fabric Labels. I'll link it all below. So they're really sweet. So they can be used exactly like they are, just put into a pocket or clip to a page. Or I have glued those down, but you could just take them off and use them in your projects if you wanted. I've also got in here 2 of these little fabrics. This is like a vintage a vintage lace. It's very sheer. It's very pretty. It's like a blue, a very soft blue colour. And then I've included a piece of broderie on glaze in there as well. So you get 2 of those, and they're really lovely. 2 Tim Holtz wallpaper samples. And again, I've just used Tim Holtz backdrop paper for those. I've got 2 vintage button cards here. Again, you can keep them exactly like they are, or you could snip the buttons off and use those buttons in your projects if you wanted to. I've got 1 metre of this rosette trim. That's very pretty, and I've just finished it off with a bulb pin and a vintage button and popped it onto one of these bobbins, I think they're called. So yeah, there's 1 metre of that in there. I've got a vial of seed beads, assorted colour seed beads, because they're always nice to put onto bulb pins and that when you're doing work, like, you know, to hang them off of bulb pins or sew them onto doilies or slow stitch. So I've got some of those in there. This one here is some dressmakers patterned paper that I've just made like a little sample of, which again, you can keep it exactly as it is, or you can take it apart and use that in your projects. Again, just put onto some Tim Holtz backdrop. I've made the little charm sampler with the 4 little butterfly charms, metal butterfly charms there. And again, I've machine stitched around all of the, well, not everything, but yeah, I've included some machine stitching on all the pieces. We've got 2 of these medium-sized lace samplers here. This is like a pink, I don't know what you call that, but it's beautiful. It's like sheer lace, and then it's got this highly embroidered pink flower in there. And then that one as well, which is white. That's really beautiful. Really very, very lovely, lovely lace. So I hope that's coming up into frame. Then I've got 3 large lace samplers. So we've got this one here, which has two pieces on there. Again, very vintage. This one here is gorgeous. It's very gold. It's a heavy lace, and it's got lots of gold through it. So that's very, very elegant looking, to be honest. And again, I've used the fabric sample cards from Which Craft Do You Do? And then just some black lace. I thought black looked nice. I don't have very much in the way of black, but so I've included that. And then I've just got this big hand-dyed lace motif that I have hand-dyed that myself. A length of cotton floral fabric. It's like a cotton rayon. And there's quite a bit in there. That's double folded over. So that could make a nice journal cover. Fabric flip. Slow stitch piece. Here's another. This is a linen doily with all hand crocheted edges and some I think that's the right way around, hand embroidered florals. It's a pansy, so yeah, I've included that. It's got some little darning marks in it, but I think that just adds to the, it is very old, that one. And just a length of lace. So, you know, that's always comes in handy for fabric flips or you know, slow stitching projects or, oh, lots of things. Add them to tags, cut strips and make them ties into tags. And then that's that doily. And I've just lined the base of the box with that doily. So that is the haberdashery sample box, which is listed is listed at this moment in the Etsy store. So we'll just pop those pieces back in. They're really nice, these little sample cards. I do enjoy working with them. I've made quite a few projects now with them. Yeah, it's just a nice little collection. And those and the button strings just go onto the top. And then I tuck it all away inside the doily. And then the pretty flowers just go on the top there like that. Alright, so that's the haberdashery sample box. And then finally, I've put together another journal. Now this one is sew as in SEW, sweet. And it's a sewing influenced journal. So I've used this beautiful, very, very old crocheted doily for my tie, which I've just wrapped around. So that's really lovely. And I have used, it's a soft covered journal, and I've used beautiful Kathy Holden fabric for my cover. I've sewn it with a piece of felt inside onto some calico, so it is quite soft. And I've used an old doily just to go over my spine, and I've just made like a layering up. This is a My Porch Prints printable. So I've put some metal book corners on there, a little bit of an applique, and just some fabrics and fibres and paper to build up a bit of a collage there. And then I've just popped onto a bowl pin some sewing related, well, not all sewing related, but you know, sewing machine, a button, a sewing machine, a button, a key, and a clock. Some little charms on a bowl pin there. Now this one I have kept, just excuse me. This one I have kept a little plainer than I would usually do, because it gives you some room, whomever might purchase the journal, it gives you some room to add your own touches to it. So the printable throughout is the My Porch Prints printable, which I will list below. And I've just got a combination of all sorts of coffee stained papers. I think there's some book page in there, but we'll go through it. So a coffee stained paper. And then I've just made a little tuck here. I've got a file, little tab with some fabric string, and again a little pair of scissors there, a metal charm. And I've just done some of these little fabric book plates. They look really pretty with something stamped. You could stamp the word journal or for you, or you know, whatever you like on those. So I think there's a set of 4 or 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and then just a really little scrappy notebook, just with all different sorts of patterned papers, book pages, coffee stain pages, with a little sewing machine on the front, and they just sit in there really cute. Like I said, lots of plain pages in this one. And on here, I've just made a little pocket. I did a video on these. This was an Inspired by Sue at Paper Inspiration. So I've made the little pocket, and inside of this one, I've included, again, some more of these fabric lace cards, little lace sample cards. So we've got the 2 of those. And then I've got a journal card there. These are Anna Thompson designs. So they look really nice. They tuck nicely inside this little pocket here. And I've just embellished the pocket with some crochet doily and a vintage button and a little sentiment there. And then I've just made a little flip thing to hide under there to keep it together. And then another one of Anna Thompson's journal cards there. It slips in behind. I hope I'm in frame. Coffee stain paper, some more printable from My Porch Prints. Just some bits and pieces throughout. That's Tim Holtz. This one here, I've just done a little bit of a flip out just for some interest. It just flips that way. And I've double-sided, I've printed on both sides of that. So you've got scissors and some sewing notions on there. I've made these little button cards here. Little button cards and some sweet little envelopes, little coin envelopes. So I've included a couple of those throughout the journal. And again, another page from the My Porch Prints kit. I've used some beautiful cotton ruffles from Sue at Paper Inspirations. And again, another little metal scissor charm piece there. This is a chapter 1 paper, and I've just made a little side tuck pocket, and in that I've included 2 little lace samplers with those printables from Kerry at Witchcraft Do You Do. I love these things. I use them in everything. So they fit nicely in that pocket, and I've just used a bit of lace and things like that to embellish. All the printables I have printed double-sided, so there is pops of colour throughout, a bit of music paper. Here I've just done like a little paper sampler stack, some wallpaper, some journal card, a bit of patterned scrapbook paper, and some music paper there, and I'm just sewing those into place. I just like that. You can actually tear them off should you want to use them throughout the journal, or leave them exactly like they are. Some more fabric ruffle. And there's another one of those button cards there with the envelope. This little collection here I've just attached with a gold clip. And I've got a journal card there, which again I've used those metal book corners from Papercrafts on to those, sewn around the edges and distress inked. I've taken a piece of coffee stained cardstock, and I've just run it through my Big Shot with the embossing folder. Now, I don't even know if you can see the embossing on there. But yeah, so that one, just a little note card. And then a pretty little envelope. And again, I've machine stitched around and things like that. So I've just tucked that one inside the envelope like that. And then attached everything together onto that little page with this, with the bulldog clip. Some more printable from My Porch Prints. Another little side tuck or diagonal side pocket, and in this one I've included another 2 little lace sample cards. A beautiful postcard from one of the mystery boxes from Paper Inspirations, and I've done nothing with that because you could use it for a journal card or an actual postcard or a pocket in a journal, so I've just left it plain. And then this one here I've taken just some more of the dressmaker's pattern paper and made a little sample card with that. So they all fit really nicely in this little pocket here. Like that. And again, I've just used a little tab, and I've got a little, I don't even know if I'm in frame. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm pretty good. So yeah, a little safety pin metal charm hanging off that tab there. Center, just the My Porch Prints. I've just left the strings bare in this one. Another pocket, which I've included 2 little journaling cards, or tags rather, and a button charm card again with the 3 butterflies in there, a bit of rust-dyed sari, and they just fit nicely in there, in that top pocket, and then you've got a pocket behind and a little pocket in front, and a bit of rust-dyed doily down below there. This one here, I have made another one of these sample cards with this rosette material, and I have rust dyed that. And then I've just made a cute little envelope here. I've done some stamping and just added some gold leafing and a little bit of that rosette trim, and attached all of those together with another clip. That. A little bit of a fabric and paper flip. So I've used a Tim Holtz journal card, some ticking fabric, some lace, a library card, and another little applique that I've made on my sewing machine. And then I've just sewn a label in there. So they are attached to the page with a staple, so you could easily take those out and use them in your projects. Again, just some more printable. Another little flip out page. So like I said, lots of room for you to add bits and pieces or to journal in. If you're using it as a sewing journal, you could write your patterns or your measurements and things like that. This one here, I've used some vintage wallpaper, and I've just distressed it and done a little collage of different fibres and fabrics there. And then I've made a little booklet. And then I've also, this was embossed, this was from a mystery box, little piece here, but I've just embossed some envelopes. Now again, I don't know if you can see that embossing on camera or not. It's a floral one, 2 florals and a scroll, but I just thought that they looked really nice, and then that way you've just got some little bits and pieces in that pocket that you can use within the journal. A piece of lace, another piece of lace. It's like a stretchy elastic lace, sort of, not too stretchy, but it's very vintage, very old. Again, just a little scrappy note, not even a notebook, it's just a collection of little scrappy bits, some labels and a doily. So again, you can keep them as they are, or you can pull them apart and use them within the journal. These are pink lemonade. And then another one of these little pockets with a little flip out. And in this one here, I've got 2 of Anna Thompson's journaling cards. And they live inside there. And then you close it up. I've just put a little flip in there. And then there's a lovely butterfly and flower journal card, guest check. And then we're at the end of the journal. So, like, yeah, and a really nice, it feels really nice in your hand. It's a nice soft cover. And then, yeah, I'll be just using this one here as my closure. So I'll just pop it there and just flip it around like that. All right, so that's the week that was in crafting. I've been busy trying to get all of these bits and pieces organised for the shop. So they're all in the shop for sale now, if anyone's interested. Yeah, so now we're on to the next project, and at this stage I really don't even know what that is. I'm having a real creativity block just in the last couple of days. I've had some things going on at home which is sort of, I don't know, stopped my creativity. So yeah, I've got to buckle down now and try and think of a new idea. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining me. If anyone's interested in anything, they're all listed in the Etsy store. So hop on over and check it out. The links are below. I hope everyone enjoys their Sunday. It's beautiful so far, lovely and sunny and bright. So fingers crossed it stays that way. Okay, guys, thanks so much. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.